Today I'd like to show you another sound that I'll play with my ENGL Retro Tube plugin. The sound is basically an 80s hard rock tone, early 80s hard rock tone, very close to the sound that you get or that you got from the typical modded Marshalls from the time, like JCM 800 modded or boosted within pedal. This is the typical tone that you will hear in a minute. This time, usually when you watched my review video, then you probably noticed that the channel 1 I more use for clean, and usually channel 2 I use for the distorted sounds. This time, however, I do not use channel 2 at all, so this is a channel 1 setting, so it gets more the classic, and it also works very nice with not only humbucker in bridge or in neck position, but also the combined, the parallel positions, neck and middle and bridge and middle also have very nice tones, very modern tones, and I'd like to show you that in a minute. So to start, just let's play a little bit so that you can hear what it actually sounds like, and then I'll show you how to set this up. Okay, here we go. As promised, classic early 80s rock tone, not as high gain as today or later in the 80s and early 90s, but a very nice beefy tone. And it's actually quite surprising that you get this kind of sound just out of a plugin these days. But I'm just plugging in guitar into my Focusrite Scarlett interface. That's all it is. I think I have a latency of about 15 milliseconds or something, which is fine for me. And this is what you end up with, a very, very nice tone when you think in the 80s that wouldn't have been possible. Anyway, so I promised that I'll show you how to set this up. So let's get started right away. So we start with the gain. As you can see here, the gain is relatively high up. I have it like on 3 o'clock. Position 8. I also have the bright switch on, which I usually, when I'm looking for not too much overdriven tones, more on the crunchy side, I'm a bit wary of too much brightness, the bite. But here with the impulse setting that we have here, which I'll show you later, it works quite well. So gain at 8, bright switch on, bass basically okay. I've been fiddling around here a little bit. You can basically say bass is on 12 o'clock, so middle position. I think this is in this scale, it's 5. Mid-range is relatively high in, it's like about 9 or like 4 o'clock. You have to fiddle around with it a little bit. It can be sometimes a little bit too much. Depending also on the song. When you have the mid-range too high in with the guitars, and maybe you double it later on or something with another one, that you basically consuming all the mid-range in the mix, and then you struggle with other instruments or with the voice usually, which is then interfering. Well, it's up to taste basically. But here now for the setting, for just playing around, it works very well. So next one is the treble. Again, treble is at 3 o'clock or position 8 here in this scale. And now, and this is important, I have the volume completely up, like at 10, and also the master is fully in at 10. This plugin actually also emulates the saturation of the power amp tubes. And so this is what's been used here, but why I put this very high in. Actually, nice in the plugin that you can actually do is, I mean, you have a 100-watt tube amp. You try to do that with a real amp, and I mean, you probably have bleeding ears then. So, but with the plugin, it's actually quite nice. So, it's a nice add-on, put it that way. So those are the settings. There's not too many mysteries here. It's basically the mid-range is in, the bass is not too much in, and the volume and the gain is relatively high up, and there you go and have your sound. So let's have a look on the back side of the amp what we have here. So this is important. Here on the input section, on the tight circuit, I rolled off the bottom end a little bit, like at 64 hertz, so to keep the bottom end tight. Otherwise it would get a bit too mushy and not really rock anymore. So you really want that tight bottom end when you go like ching, 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 that you can really hear that. That's why I did that, so I rolled it off a little bit. The smooth setting I left as it was, actually basically the delay I left as it was as well. The input gain, because when I designed this sound, actually I started off with a clean tone. This is why the input gain was rolled off a little bit. I'm running actually into my audio interface relatively hot, so that's why I roll the gain off here a little bit when I want to achieve a clean tone. I left it here, and it's actually quite nice so that you still get a little bit of dynamic when you hit harder, etc. That you get something going. You can hear difference. But in general, theoretically, you could actually put this up and then get even more gain. But then again, you're going more to into later 80s, 90s rock tone, which is not what I was looking for at this stage at the moment. So, and this is also important, so which impulse response did I use? I used the 53, which is the ENGL STD cabinet with the music equalizer and the R84 ribbon mic from Royer, I suppose, in the recording chain. So this is the recording chain that's been captured here with this impulse response. And there we have it. Power soak is fully in. So that's basically the setting that I have here. And but it works very nice. And especially, actually, I use this more, not as much as an 80s rock tone, but more as a modern crunch tone, actually, which it does very nice as well. So, and with this setting here, with the Royer microphone, the top end is not as harsh and bite and brittly, so you can actually play very nice and open tones with it. So let's have a look what we have here. So I'm putting the middle position now. I have bridge humbucker and a cool rail in the middle position, and now I put them both in, and then let's have a look what that sounds like. As I said, a very nice, more modern, clean tone without sounding clean crunch tone without sounding too harsh. Middle position, middle pickup and bridge humbucker. So I'm switching one further. I don't use the middle pickup alone. Actually, instead I have my guitar switched in such a way that the middle switch actually engages the humbucker in the front and the neck pickup together. So it's like a Les Paul kind of setting. So let's give that a look. As you can hear, similar tone, but due to the neck pickup that now comes in and brings a bit more growl and a bit more bottom end, it's a bit more beefy. More beefy sounding tone. There's not much more to say to it. I like it very much, although I'm really a big fan of those middle positions, of those parallel positions, the Fender style. Okay, let's go to the next one. So I have middle pickup and neck pickup together. This is my favorite actually for laying down open chords, like rock sounding, but still open chords in a song arrangement, if I need that. So then I would go for that kind of sound. Okay, so let's have a look what we do here. So I think you can imagine this kind of tone. You could actually work very nice with it. You have to watch, of course, that you do not, let's say, overdo it and deaden the song with it, so to say. But I could imagine a little bit of chorus in there or something. I mean, you can hear I have a relatively prominent delay in this anyway, but instead of delay, you could also add a little bit of chorus, maybe a bending high, a bit crispy, which would give this also a very nice tone. You could also roll it off a little bit if you wanted to. Let's try that actually. Let's see what happens when we roll it a little bit off. And roll it off even more, see what happens there. the gain doesn't roll off too much anymore, because I have it relatively quite high, which is understandable at this point. Okay, so this was the last of the middle position. Let's have a look what the neck pickup does for us. Neck pickup in, and then we have So that is it, the neck pickup. Or maybe I should mention, in the neck pickup I have a little 59 from Seymour Duncan, and it has a very nice bluesy tone, and I think you could hear that as well. So this is personally, this sound with that pickup position I would use mainly for solo playing, even though what I just put down now in the video was maybe not perfect, but hey, okay, I'm sorry for that. But this is what I would use it for. So this is something that you could also use in a Gary Moore style, maybe blues tone, or just a modern blues rock setting. I'm pretty sure this sound works really well. So there we have it, another sound that you can get out of the ENGL Tube plugin. Still, again, one of my favorites. Still very impressed with this plugin. Very nice sounding guitar amp in your DAW environment that you can just engage, put in, and just plug in your guitar and play right away. So what more do you want? Maybe one thing that I'd like to mention as well, actually in a recording situation, the sounds from this plugin actually sit very nice in the mix. I noticed that with other guitar modeling plugins, that sometimes when you play them alone, they sound very nice and you have a lot of fun with it. But when you try then to integrate those sounds in the song, you have to work a lot to actually integrate it into the song and make it sit in the song. So sometimes I actually found it's less hustle actually to record an amp, because usually if you have it recorded nicely, it sits in the song very, very nice and very well. There's not that much that you have to do anymore, and with some of the plugins actually you have to work relatively hard to get it finally really integrated into the song. So what you have inconvenience with that, you have it right there in your DAW, you lose with the fiddle afterwards, and instead you set up your amp recording and there you go, and it sits nice. This amp actually here, this plugin here actually also has this quality. So the sound that you get out of it actually integrates relatively well into your arrangement or into your song or into your mix. So it's not too difficult to get it fitting perfect. Okay, that was a longer finish. Nevertheless, I hope you liked it and hope you enjoyed it. If so, feel free to leave a like for me and or subscribe to the channel, even better. It's still in its starting. And I'd like to, or I'd hope that I'll see you back in one of the next videos that I publish. Thank you very much, and bye for now.